Sports are a typical part of the daily life of almost every high schooler. They keep students active, build teamwork and leadership, and even if you didn't play them, chances are you attended games for fun and cheered on friends. That high school experience is non-existent at a lot of New York City public schools. Sports either don't exist or are limited by poor funding and facilities from the Public Schools Athletic League, or PSAL. According to David Garcia Rosen, the lack of funding and facilities disproportionately affects schools that are mostly Black and Latinx.
Sadly, I've been at so many schools with no sports at all. And when I think about what sports did for my life and what I've seen it do for students' lives, everything good goes up, everything bad goes down.
Rosen has been fighting for sports equity for years. Before he started as dean and athletic director at Bronx Academy of Letters, he was a teacher at Marie Curie High School. He says students kept asking for sports and he kept having to tell them no, because the PSAL wouldn't give them teams. He created the Small Schools Athletic League in an attempt to get sports teams for his students to join. The league grew rapidly, but was eventually shut down by the Department of Education, or DOE. He even turned an unused storage area at Bronx Letters into a weight room for his students, a move for which he says he was investigated by the DOE.
Sports is dollar for dollar the most valuable program any school could have because it really improves student outcomes in a way that no other program can. So, you take a student like Lisa, for example, you can see how sports really puts her on the right track when she's on basketball, when she's running track. It really changes the whole demeanor of a student. And I've seen students graduate who would not have graduated if it wasn't for sports. So why would I care so much? Why would I fight so much? Because it really, on a lot of levels, is the difference between life and death for a lot of people and their trajectory of life.
Rosen says he's frustrated by the inequity of the system where he works. Two of his students, Matt Diaz and Lisa Parks, are plaintiffs in a lawsuit alleging discriminatory practices in DOE sports funding. Parks recalls running track where she grew up in Atlanta. She dreamed of being an Olympian.
When she gets here, my frustration is on 1,000 already with this whole issue. And it's heartbreaking to have to tell Lisa and her grandmother that we don't have track. They were shocked when they came in here, which is a conversation I've had a million times in my career.
Bronx Academy of Letters shares space, including athletic areas, with 3 schools. While giving tours of the athletic facilities, Rosen repeatedly points out how lucky they are to have the spaces they do. A small field that only has the right dimensions for softball, a gym for varsity basketball with roughly a foot of sideline space, a weight room that Rosen himself created, and a dilapidated dance studio with broken mirrors.
It's crazy, it's criminal. But this is a lot for a Bronx school, that we even have a gym that we share with 3 other schools, that we have, these 2 locker rooms that we've been able to refurbish.
For Rosen, it's really about his students. He desperately wants to see them succeed, and they appreciate everything he's doing for them. Matt Diaz was never able to play high school volleyball, and at this point, Parks is only able to run track on a limited basis. But Rosen's activism has inspired them as student leaders.
He knew I was an activist beforehand in segregation and integration in our schools, but he was the one to bring the connection to sports and a love for it.
Rosen's work is far from over, but legislators and DOE officials have made some changes at his and others' urging. The PSAL will soon have to release funding data to the public, and the City Council has made some changes to the way it allots school funding.
It's not the same experience that your average white or Asian student is experiencing. So yes, was it better than nothing? For sure, but was it it was something, but it wasn't the same experience that students at other schools get to experience. So we're still not at a victory. We're still not ready to celebrate. We're still in a system that is separate and unequal.
Rosen is hoping to expand the athletic facilities at Bronx Letters and bring small schools together to make fielding sports teams easier. He says recent legislation gives him hope. I'm Elliot Chaparelli, WFUV News.